This TikTok mom lost $7.8 million, was imprisoned in Thailand, and this is all after she was flaunting her $3,000 a month taxpayer benefits checks while living in Thailand. Then suddenly, she's begging for help after being thrown in an immigration detention center with her 4-year-old son.
I picked up my disability living allowance today, and I've been doing so for the past 4 years of not living in the UK. So let's talk about it.
So obviously, this is a rough one. So meet Ellis Matthews, a 32-year-old British mom who goes by the username Mom on the Run. And she's built a following of over 18,000 people by essentially bragging about gaming the UK benefit system while living her best life out in Thailand. She also claimed to have been awarded 6 million British pounds in compensation for being let down by the Lancashire local authorities in her childhood.
After carefully that you will have financial security for the rest of your life.
Yes, Judge.
Were you aware, Levi, that Ellis had, I'll put it in this way, come into this substantial amount of money?
Yes, but I didn't know exactly how much though.
But now, as stated in the caption, the money is gone. And to make matters worse, she got locked in what she calls hell on earth in a Thai detention center with her youngest son. And according to her, all they're being fed is rat meat with lumpy rice every day while sleeping on a concrete floor. And this happened after immigration officials caught her for overstaying her visa. So according to the Lancashire Post article, Ellis has been traveling around Asia since about 2018. And initially, she had some noble intentions. Because after suffering back-to-back tragedies of a miscarriage and losing her 20-year-old sister the year before, she decided to go to Cambodia. Not my first choice to go to mourn, and here she became a volunteer English teacher to poverty-stricken families and found a new purpose to restart her life. There, she reportedly became so shocked at the terrible living conditions of those communities that she put out pleas on social media for others to donate and help with whatever they could. However, 7 years later, it's safe to say that her content has changed drastically. Now it basically just consists of bikini posts showing off her paradise lifestyle while bragging about how the UK taxpayers are footing her bill. How do we go from honorable cause to stooping that low? Because those programs are there for people who need them, not for people who want to lay on a beach all day and post on TikTok how they're gaming the system. But similar to the clip you saw earlier, she even shares tips on how her and her followers could also use and claim these government benefits themselves while living abroad and avoid attending UK-based meetings. I mean, just talk about snitching on yourself. This seems like fraud on a public platform, but hey, I'm no professional.
I am diagnosed with around 6 mental disorders, which without in-house treatment, without me being put into a hospital for the minimum of 1 year, my prognosis is quite poor. Therefore, I need ongoing treatment costs to be met by the NHS, by the taxpayer. Thank you very much. So I receive around £2,300 per month, undisputable money, and that pays for my lifestyle out here in Thailand. There has been a couple of times when I've made videos, for example, on TikTok, and people have made reports about me and my money was stopped for a short period of time, but then it gets backdated and you get thousands of pounds all at once, which obviously is great. But
unfortunately for her, trouble in paradise happened. And by trouble in paradise, I mean literally trouble in paradise. I mean, things went really bad for her. Because Ellis was arrested on March 3rd by Thai immigration officials at her home in Pattaya after overstaying her visa, which was canceled on February 21st. Now, she's being held in the Mothers and Children's Immigration Detention Center in Bangkok with her 4-year-old son. And this is a facility that's notorious for being overcrowded and in poor conditions. And photos posted to her TikTok earlier this year show a fellow inmate behind bars in a terribly neglected prison, with trash on the floor and dirty walls. In the caption, she says, "I don't care about me, but please pray for my son." I can't play the audio because she chose to play the song Akon Locked Up, and I don't want to claim. Yeah, so clearly these detention centers are not a joke. A 2024 report by the International Federation of Human Rights described these detention centers as having serious problems with overcrowding, abuse, substandard food, and squalid cells, and poor hygiene supplies, especially for women. And to make things worse, children of detainees are often held alongside their parents, with few or no recreational activities available, as these facilities are essentially just holding pens where people wait, sometimes indefinitely, for someone to essentially just pay their airfare back home to their home country. So when Ellis says they're now living in hell on earth, she might not be too far from being wrong. I mean, the only other influencer in potentially worse conditions could be Vitaly, as she's locked up for more than 20 hours per day in a suffocating hot cell with 16 other inmates and their children. She claimed, and quote, "My skin is covered in rashes. Both me and my son have got lice, terrible insect bites, and there are rats running around. We haven't even got any access to medication. Nobody's been helping me. I've just been left here to rot." And according to Thai officials, Ellis will be deported once she said she can buy herself an airline ticket back to the UK, but she will remain in detention until then. But this is where things get even more complicated, because she claims that she has the money for an airline ticket, but can't access it because they won't allow her to access her bank account. Not only that, but at the same time, she refuses to return to the UK, despite that being her only apparent way out of detention. So at least at this point in time, she was definitely in a catch-22, because I'm assuming what she's been bragging about doing abroad in Thailand is not legal in the UK. But she said, in quote, "There's no way I'm going back to the UK. I want to go to another country like Cambodia or Turkey. I'm a single mother who's just trying to survive and raise her son." And she's a confusing one as well, apparently. I'm trying to understand, wait, why Cambodia and Turkey out of all of the countries in the world? Like, I get the UK is relatively expensive, but Cambodia, doesn't it have a lot of risks right now? Okay, so there's a level 2 travel warning here on Cambodia because of exercise increased caution in Cambodia due to crime and landmines. I'm assuming Turkey because it's cheap, Cambodia because it's probably like extremely cheap. You can live in Cambodia on a budget for around $800 to $1,200 a month. What about Turkey? Turkey is actually like almost as cheap, which sounds... I am sidetracking so hard off of this video. My bad, guys. Cheap, safe countries to live in. Portugal, Mexico, Colombia. How does Denmark come up on this list? That I don't believe that. As someone who's been to Denmark multiple times, Denmark is not cheap. Even though she seems convinced that if she returns to her country, social services will take her son away from her. Thai officials have insisted that according to their immigration laws, as a British national, the UK is the only place they'll deport her to. And when confronted about all those videos where she bragged about scamming the UK benefits system, she said they were all made up for clout. Unfortunately, they would have records of that to know if that's real or not. But she said, in quote, "These videos are just a joke. The truth is that I never got any UK benefits while in Thailand, not a single penny. I can understand why people in the UK are angry and upset about them, which is why there's not a lot of sympathy for me. But I was just lying in my videos to get more followers and to make some money off my TikTok account. It was all a big hoax. That's all." Okay, so that's interesting. Legitimately scamming the UK benefit system for years while bragging about it online, or pretending to scam the benefit system for years and lying to your followers about your lifestyle just to get more views. Either way, none of them really makes her look that great. Then you have that other claim where she got £6 million awarded to her. That apparently was not accurate either. She never enjoyed a £6 million fortune as once claimed. However, she did receive £1.6 million after successfully suing the Lancashire local authorities for being let down in her childhood. Yet, all the money is now gone, and Ellis is not sure how she spent it. I'm a little bit confused here. How do you spend £1.6 million in just a few years and you don't know how you spent it? That's a little bit too much money to be like, oops. That's not like forgetting a Netflix subscription or something like that. That is a lot of money. But it is worth noting that according to the UK government's website, British citizens living overseas may still be able to claim some benefits. But what you're entitled to depends on where you're going and how long you're going to be there. And Thailand isn't listed among the countries with a UK benefits arrangement. And Thai officials told the Daily Mail that they took action against Ellis after a local anti-child abuse organization raised concerns about her son's welfare. She claims that her visa was cancelled because of some people in the UK have been trolling her and accused her of horrible things like human trafficking and I gotta censor both of those. So they allegedly got the Thai authorities involved, and that's how she ended up in this detention center. Whatever the truth is, there's a 4-year-old child caught in the middle of all this, living in terrible conditions in a Thai detention center. And that's the most disturbing part of this whole story. Because I mean, this experience alone is clearly something that can be highly traumatic for an adult. Imagine what this is like for a 4-year-old child. But all of this, up until now, happened way back in March and April of this year. Now, we have some updates to the story, because after spending months there, locked up in that overcrowded detention center, Ellis was eventually deported by Thai authorities. And here's where the situation takes an even weirder turn, because she returns to the UK, but without her son, Cairo. So, despite her insistence that she would never go back to the UK because, social services would take Cairo away, she ended up flying back alone and leaving her 4-year-old son behind in Thailand with a relative? I'm a little confused here. What's going on? So, according to her, leaving Cairo behind was the hardest decision she's ever had to make, but she felt like she had no choice. But she claims that she's the victim of an online hate campaign that's making her out to be a bad mother, and she says that she would never allow him to be passed around in UK care. But she would let him be in a Thai detention center, especially if there was a family member option that he could be staying with? This doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. So if she's so scared of a UK system, why would she put herself in a position for this to even happen to her to begin with? But since returning to the UK around late July of this year, she said that she wants to bring Cairo back to the UK and have a normal life with him. But right now, according to her, his safe return is impossible, which also just sounds extremely weird. And now a few months have passed since she returned to the UK, but on her official accounts, she still hasn't addressed the Cairo situation. There have been no updates since then, apart from some interviews where she gave in September to the mainstream British media. And as of right now, those interviews only addressed her situation in Thailand and the conditions there. Nothing about the fact that her son is literally in Thailand and she's in the UK. So as it stands right now, Ellis is in the UK with her 4-year-old son Cairo in Thailand. As of right now, it's extremely unclear who the kid is with and why they're still separated from each other. Because right now, we have a 4-year-old without his mother, which is just awful. And apparently all of this is because of her fears about UK social services and the ongoing online scrutiny that she's facing. Something isn't adding up here. This whole situation is just weird to me. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But while it's hard to feel sympathy for someone who either committed fraud or pretended to commit fraud for internet clout, at the same time, I feel like it's safe to say that no child should ever be in this kind of situation, especially for the mistakes of a reckless parent. Because calling what she did reckless is an understatement. Because the mother unfortunately gamed the system, or allegedly gamed the system, or lied about gaming the system extremely publicly, which turned her into a target. And the last thing you want to do is go abroad to a poorer country and be a target. Honestly, skill issue. And unfortunately, it's the 4-year-old son that has to deal with the repercussions of that. I just feel so awful for that kid. Hopefully, if she's fit to be a mother, they get reunited sooner than later. Other than that, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, hopefully with a way more lighthearted topic. But until then, peace.